Well, some reports suggest 1 in 4 Australian businesses are struggling to find the right talent, but this comes as many people who have returned from overseas are struggling to find a job. So what's the problem and the solution? Margot Andersen is founder and CEO of Insync Network Group and joins us now to explain. Welcome, how are you today?
Thanks, yeah, great to be here.
So it's a fascinating story, I mean sad in some ways. Can you tell us what is the market like at the moment? The pandemic's happened. Tell us how many people have come back to Australia and what they're experiencing as well.
Yeah, it's really quite a diverse array of experiences, but over the last 2 years we've seen nearly 600,000 Australians come home, so it's huge numbers. Now we know that not all Australians will stay, but many will. We also know that there are many people sitting offshore who are watching with really keen interest as to what's unfolding here and how to best navigate the market. So the challenges that people are finding is literally bridging that, international story with the local market and navigating that local market here.
So what often happens, because in my mind, I was saying to you off air, I imagine people that have had overseas experience come back and we say yes, 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 but it doesn't happen like that necessarily.
No, it doesn't. And I think it's something that many expats themselves underestimate. And what we do is we arrive back and we've got this great, lived experience. We've had exponential career rises and we've been a little bit disconnected from the local market in terms of the everyday. So it's very much around how do I localise my story with real relevance here so that people and organisations can see it and can see the value of it.
Yeah.
There are many people who live offshore working for international brands that don't exist here.
Sure.
So you start talking about international brands and people here can't actually join the dots per se. So we're very much about helping returning Aussies to reconnect with knowledge, with networks and with opportunities.
Do you think, before we get into exactly what you're doing, is it because it's too cliquey? Like, is that part of the problem in a way?
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of who you know. Invariably, you're returning from really big markets offshore to a smaller market. We are a smaller market. We can't change that. And it's highly networked. So it's about how do I actually build those networks quickly and in a manner that conveys my story with real relevance.
So what do you do? How does it work step by step to bring these people into work, obviously?
Yeah, so we're not into recruitment per se, but what we do is we actually provide a community and a forum for those returning Aussies to connect with others who've gone before them. What we do know is that those who've lived that experience are really generous with their time and with their referrals and with their industry knowledge. So it's very much around educating people. And the other layer to what we offer is career advisory programs. So really getting that transition plan right. What can I do? What do I want to do? And where are the opportunities for me to do that? And help bridge those introductions and to bridge those opportunities.
And given what we've seen recently with the pandemic, and you say 600,000 people, what is that a bigger challenge now? Has the pandemic made it more difficult in some ways?
Oh, absolutely, because I think many people have been forced to come home. It wasn't a decision to come home. For those, many have come home and gone, actually, it's great here. I actually want to stay. And so they're a little bit behind on their planning, so they have to sort of expedite that a whole lot more quickly. But I also think too, it's around seeing those opportunities. How do I actually go in and find those opportunities and find those networks that can help support that transition? So I think it's been definitely, I guess, a problem that's been magnified during this time. Normally we have 100,000 Aussies that come home in any given year. We've had 600,000 over two years.
Wow, so that keeps you busy.
Yeah, very busy, very busy. So yeah.
So what would you say, just to wrap up, in terms of if someone's listening to this and saying, I want to learn more, how to reach out, and what other tips would you have as well?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I've just run a series of workshops, ran one this morning actually, talking about what some of those tips are. First thing is I'd say get really clear on why you're coming home and also work on your positioning. So again, localise your story. How do I tell it with real relevance here? And connect with those that have gone before you and connect with the industry experts, connect with groups like ours, like Insync Network Group, because we can help you navigate that transition.
And we still want people to go overseas and work as well,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. And I think if we're really smart about it, what we do is we go overseas, but we stay connected and we stay stay connected to what's actually happening here so we can actually, make that transition a whole lot more quickly.
Nicely done. Appreciate your time. Keep us up to date with how it keeps developing. Just finally, how can we reach out and learn a little bit more?
Yeah, so we are insyncnetworkgroup.com. My playground is LinkedIn, so you can always connect with me on LinkedIn, and we're on all the normal social media channels.
Awesome. Keep up the good work and keep us up to date. Thanks for coming in today.
Cheers.